There's a specific kind of pain that comes from being your own worst enemy. Not because the world has been cruel to you, not because life has dealt you an unfair hand, but because somewhere deep down you know you're capable of more, and you're just not doing it. And that knowledge, that gap between who you are and who you could be, makes it almost impossible to look at yourself with anything close to love. Picture this. Someone finally gets into a healthy relationship after years of toxic ones. The person treats them well, shows up consistently, communicates openly. And what do? They pick fights over nothing. They create problems that don't exist. They push and test and provoke until the person finally leaves. Then they sit there thinking, "See, I knew I didn't deserve it." But here's the thing. They didn't lose that relationship. They destroyed it on purpose. They saw something good coming toward them, and they made sure it didn't reach them. Or watch them at work. They're talented, everyone knows it. They get an opportunity, a real one, the kind people wait years for. And for the first week, they're on fire, excited, focused, showing up early, giving everything. Then week 2 hits. They start showing up late. They half-ass the work. They stop returning emails. They watch themselves sabotage it in real time, fully aware of what they're doing, and they do it anyway. The opportunity disappears, and they tell themselves, "I'm just not cut out for success." Here's where it gets darker. They don't just sabotage the big things, they sabotage the small ones too. They're invited to something that could be fun, something that could connect them to people who actually care. They say yes. Then the day comes and they cancel. Or they go, but they show up emotionally closed off, arms crossed, barely participating. They make sure nobody gets too close. They ensure the connection never really forms. Then they go home and feel lonely, wondering why nobody really knows them. And the worst part? They see the pattern. They're not blind to it. They've replayed these moments 100 times in their head. Why did I do that? Why do I always ruin things? They know they're the common denominator. They know the destroyer is looking back at them in the mirror. But knowing doesn't stop them. The next good thing comes along and they do it again. Same script, different scene. Maybe you're someone like that. Maybe you've watched yourself choose the wrong thing, the safe thing, the self-destructive thing, over and over. Maybe you've sat there at 2 a.m. thinking, "What is wrong with me?" And maybe the answer is more uncomfortable than you want to admit. If this is resonating with you, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Because content like this gets buried under algorithms that prioritize noise over depth. And your subscription tells the algorithm that honest conversations about why we struggle to love ourselves deserve to be seen. Here's the truth most people don't want to say out loud. The reason it's so hard to love yourself is that you know you. You know this person really could be doing so much better, and they kind of choose not to. It's not about lacking potential or intelligence or capability. It's about looking at someone who has everything they need to change their life and watching them scroll through their phone instead. Watching them choose comfort over growth, distraction over discipline, the easy path over the right one. How do you love someone when you're watching them waste themselves? And I'm not talking about people who are genuinely stuck, who lack resources, who are dealing with real limitations. I'm talking about the ones who have the knowledge, have the opportunity, have the awareness, and still choose to stay small. The ones who know exactly what they need to do. They've read the books, they've watched the videos, they've had the conversations, and then they close the laptop and do absolutely nothing. They go right back to the same patterns, the same excuses, the same comfortable misery. You want to know what makes this even more brutal? You treat other people with endless compassion. Someone else is struggling, you're there. You're understanding. You give them grace. You give them time. You tell them it's okay to be imperfect. But yourself, you get none of that. Because you know the difference between someone trying your best and falling short and someone not really trying at all. And when you look at yourself, you know which one you are.
Psychologists call this the self-discrepancy theory. It's the gap between your actual self and your ideal self, between who you are and who you believe you should be. And here's where it gets complicated. That gap isn't always about unrealistic expectations or perfectionism. Sometimes that gap exists because you genuinely are underperforming. You genuinely are capable of more, and your brain knows it. So every time you look in the mirror, every time you try to practice self-love or positive affirmations, there's this voice in the back of your head going, "But you know that's not true. You know you're not doing your best. You know you're settling."
And that's where the self-sabotage comes from. It's not random. It's not some mysterious, unconscious pattern you can't control. It's your way of staying consistent with who you believe you are. You believe you're someone who doesn't follow through. So when something good happens, you destroy it to prove yourself right. You believe you're someone who doesn't deserve success. So when opportunity comes, you make sure it doesn't work out. You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of success, because success would mean you'd have to change your entire identity. You'd have to become someone who actually does the work, and that's terrifying.
So let me ask you something. If you can't love yourself right now, what if that's not the problem? What if trying to love yourself while actively betraying yourself is the real issue? What if the path to self-love isn't through affirmations and bubble baths and telling yourself you're perfect as you are? What if it's through becoming someone you can actually respect? Not someone perfect, not someone who never fails, but someone who shows up, someone who tries, someone who keeps their promises to themselves. Because here's what nobody tells you. Self-love isn't unconditional, not really. You can't hate your actions and love yourself at the same time. You can't watch yourself give up over and over and feel good about who you are. You can't keep choosing the easy way out and expect to feel proud when you look in the mirror. Self-love is earned, not through achievements or external validation, but through self-respect, through doing what you said you'd do, through showing up for yourself the way you'd show up for someone you actually cared about. And maybe that sounds harsh. Maybe you wanted me to tell you that you're perfect as you are, that you just need to accept yourself, that self-love is about radical acceptance of all your flaws. And look, there's truth in acceptance, but acceptance without action is just resignation. It's just giving up and calling it self-love. Real self-love looks like this. I see where I'm falling short. I see where I'm capable of more. And because I love myself, because I want good things for myself, I'm going to start doing the work. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when you feel motivated, now. You want to know what it feels like to actually love yourself? It feels like keeping a promise you made to yourself when no one was watching. It feels like choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. It feels like going to bed knowing you didn't waste the day. It feels like looking in the mirror and seeing someone who's genuinely trying, even if they're not perfect, even if they're still figuring it out. That's the foundation. That's where it starts, not with pretending you're fine, with becoming someone you don't have to pretend about. So if you're someone who can't love yourself right now, maybe stop trying to force it. Maybe stop with the affirmations that feel like lies. Maybe start with something simpler. Start with respect. Start with one promise you keep. One day where you show up. One choice that moves you toward who you want to be instead of away from it. Because self-love isn't a feeling you conjure out of nowhere. It's a byproduct of living in a way that doesn't make you ashamed. And once you start doing that, once you start becoming someone you can actually respect, the love part, that follows naturally. You don't have to force it. It just shows up, like sunlight after a long night, steady, warm, and finally real.